You're playing somebody who hits higher, deeper, and heavier balls that pin you way far behind the baseline because you're not comfortable yet taking those balls on the rise. My name is Meike Babel. I'm a former top 30 WTA competitor, 19 times Grand Slam participant, and I'm going to teach you how to deal with those higher, deeper balls. So let's get going. Higher, heavier, and deeper balls. If you're not doing anything, if you're not moving up or you're not moving back, you continually have balls way above your shoulder, and that's not a really good spot to hit those balls because they're harder to control. As I said before, you can move up to those and hit them on the rise, but that's a little bit more of an aggressive and a little bit more of a riskier endeavor because it takes a lot of timing to do that well. But I'll also show you a video on that soon. So what I always recommend for newer players and players that are not quite comfortable yet with moving up is that you're dropping back to let that ball drop back into your strike zone. And you want to keep that ball between your shoulder and your hip. And the best way to do that is to use, obviously after your split step, a turn, a drop step, a crossover, and then you shuffle as much as you need to have that ball back in your strike zone. So what you definitely don't want to do, and I see that a lot, is you don't want to backpedal because A, you're not getting back quickly enough, and B, you're not going to be balanced. So let's look at the footwork a little bit more specific. As usual, I want to initiate my entire shot with my split step. As my opponent strikes the ball, I want to be on top of my split step so that I can start my movement immediately when I'm coming down onto the ground. So what I'm going to do is I land and then I have a drop step. So I'm a right-handed player, so what I'm doing is I take the right side of my body back. So it's almost like a quarterback dropping back into the pocket. So I have my drop step. Ideally, what I then want to do is a crossover, and then I shuffle, again, however much I need to let that ball come back into my strike zone between hip and shoulder, shoulder and hip. So the reason why I want a crossover as my second step is because I can grab a lot more room with one big step. If I'm just shuffling, that's still better than backpedaling, but I might not get back fast enough. So drop step, crossover, I'm shuffling, and now really pay attention to my outside leg because I want to, again, absorb my body weight, and I want to use that to really hit an aggressive ball back. I might be in a very passive position, but I can still hit that ball very aggressively. And that's what you see on tour and higher level all the time, that the semi-open stance is used to generate a lot of power. Right? So again, I'm loading off my right leg and I'm having my body weight come forward onto my left. And my momentum carries me forward, back forward to the baseline. So you could have another option. If you cannot shift that body weight forward, you can also land on your left foot parallel to your right foot. Perfectly fine. You see that as well. And it just depends a little bit on the incoming ball. It could be so heavy that I need all my energy to absorb that ball that my left leg actually lands behind me. And that is perfectly fine as well. But what you do notice is when you take the open stance approach, that I'm not falling backwards, right? I'm either neutral in my body weight or I can move back forward. So let's look at the whole execution from the side. Again, I'm being pinned back behind the baseline. I'm going to use my semi-open stance. So split step, drop step, and just to kind of point that out again, I'm always using my offhand to really initiate my turn here. I want my shoulder and my hip back at the same time as I'm taking my racket back. What I don't want to do is moving back here and then catching up with my racket. So drop step, crossover, shuffle, and I'm loading and I'm coming forward again, and I can move up back to the baseline. Or I'm catching my body weight on my left, even if it's behind me, behind my right leg, and then I'm moving forward. So those are a couple of options that you have. Let's look at it one more time in real life. And then I'm coming forward. Not only is the semi-open stance a great option when you're being pushed back a little bit, it has now also become a very, very usual and normal ball on just regular rally balls. And next time you're watching a match on TV, just chart a little bit. How many times are players using a semi-open stance as opposed to a true open stance or a closed or neutral and square stance? So the semi-open stance has become the favorite a little bit more because it's so easy to load on your outside leg and then create power. And that is why we definitely have to have that in our repertoire. So again, semi-open stance, make sure that you really heavily load off your back leg, really push into the ground, and let that energy that you're creating take you back into the shot. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that little bell on the top because that lets you know when I'm putting new content out, and share my channel with your friends. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers within the next 2 months. Thank you so much.